money that we are about to present?
Well, with my team here, my best friends, and we sold bath bombs, and those they helped create them and sell them, and we did a few fundraisers at my school to help this, and I think that what we raised is just amazing, and it's great.
Let's reveal the grand total. Here's how much money they are donating to CHEO. Folks, it's $1,220. Thank you so much for your continued support, and happy birthday.
Thank you so much, guys.
My pleasure. Call now to make your donation here to the CHEO Telethon.
This portion of the CHEO Telethon is brought to you in part by Jump Chorus Radio.
When my kids fall down or get tummy aches, I give them the best mommy medicine I have. Hugs, kisses, and lots of colorful Band-Aids. But when kids are really sick, I'm so grateful for Children's Miracle Network hospitals with care designed for kids. But as great as children's hospitals are, they need our help to ensure every kid has the chance to get better. Please join me in supporting Children's Miracle Network hospitals. Put your money where the miracles are. Give to Children's Hospital of Eastern Ontario Foundation.
Thank you to the following for making this telethon possible.
Every child deserves hope and healing, specialized care. 170 hospitals, 14 in Canada. There's one near you. They all need your support. Children's Miracle Network, helping local kids.
Well, the check presentations continue here at the CHEO Telethon, and we've got the ongoing support of the Doctor Who Society of Ottawa. Robin Vernella will be their spokesperson for the day. I've seen you at Comic-Con.
You have indeed, at many Comic-Cons.
And what do you do at the various Comic-Con events to raise money, Robin?
We have Talk Like a Dalek, pose in the TARDIS for photos, interact with the Daleks, and essentially we're trying to exterminate illness in tiny humans.
That's a perfect way of putting it. I understand your support team that joins you here today. They're not only friends and family, but also people that have their own CHEO stories. It must mean so much to be able to raise money for those that are so close to you.
Exactly. Asher's a CHEO baby himself. His twin sister is as well. Asher has DeGeorge syndrome and was in the NICU for quite some time, so that's where all our donations go, is the NICU.
Let's go ahead and flip that check, show just how much money the Doctor Who Society has raised. Guys, it's $8,404. Back to you, Patricia.
All right, thank you, Sarah. We still love you, but don't make us sing again, please. Not with a microphone on. All right, I'm with Dr. Mélise Keys, a pediatric urologist at the Children's Hospital of Eastern Ontario. And one of her little patients here is Connor, and Connor's mom, Kira Thorne. And Connor is our almost 2-year-old here. We got him a few grapes, trying to keep him busy while we chat. So this is your first child.
Yes.
And you were going in for an ultrasound, excited, find out what the gender is, all the good stuff, and you actually found out that he had a complication.
Yeah, so they noticed like his bladder was enlarged on the ultrasound, so they discovered that he had posterior urethral valves, so a reflux of urine into his kidney. So Dr. Keys helped us correct that at 3 days old.
At 3 days old, he had this procedure, and it actually turned out to be a good thing that when they did find out the gender, that he was going to be a boy, because that gave you the capability of actually fixing this very quickly. It's not quite as easy in girls.
So that's correct. So for Connor, when they found the anomaly, they found that both kidneys were more dilated than they should be, and he had a very enlarged and thickened bladder. And this is a condition that we almost we only see in boys. And because of the prenatal scans, what happened was Kira came to see one of the urologists at CHEO, and then we made some planning for where she would deliver. So that way Connor was born at the General, just to the hospital connected to CHEO. And then within hours after him being born, he was having the necessary investigations to confirm the condition, posterior urethral valves. And then, we had a prompt surgery as soon as he was medically safe enough to do so.
So incredible that this could be dealt with so quickly, but what an exhausting first week of motherhood that must have been for you with this little guy going in for the procedure.
It was a lot of back and forth, but he was in good hands with the doctors and nurses at the NICU, so we're very thankful that he was able to be transferred right away from the General. So Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, and he's doing wonderfully today. I know he's had a couple of other little complications along the way. We're going to chat about that a little bit as we move through the show here, but good to see him healthy and happy on your lap. And we are heading now to Sarah or the phones? Back to the phone banks.
Yes, back to the phone. Thanks. Thank you very much, Patricia. With me, Tim Morgan from Boom and Jesse Reynolds from Jump. We're going to talk to Tim first. This is your first CHEO Telethon. Welcome.
This is my very first one. It's so wonderful to be here, and you can feel the energy in this place.
Yeah, you said it's like this great chaos. Actually,
it is. It's like controlled chaos, and you don't like. From what I understand, you don't want to hear the phones go quiet completely.
No, that's right.
You want them ringing.
And Jesse, you guys at Jump have really started things up even before you got here.
Yeah, well, I'm so excited. This year, Jump had an initiative out to Ottawa high schools to raise money for CHEO. So we had a whole bunch of different high schools. We raised $10,000 in total. St. Michael's High School in Orleans, St. Matthew's, in Orleans raised $2,500. They won. They got a dance party, having a great time, and it's all for a good cause.
I love that. I love when our jobs allow us to give back. It's so much fun. We get to do it again. So we're going to hit the phones here pretty soon.
Great.
We're going to get people calling, and we want you to do it. 613-738-1450, 1-888-738-1450.
So again, with Connor and Kira and Dr. Maylee's keys, and we're going to get a little bit of a better understanding of what this was that they found on Connor's ultrasound when he was still in his mommy's tummy. So this condition is called posterior urethral valves. And what is that exactly?
So along the urinary tract, obviously the kidneys want to pass urine without any resistance. And there are multiple points where you can get a blockage. So in Connor's case, at the point where in adult males you would know where the prostate is, right before there's a valve, like a membrane of tissue that is thick. And it wasn't complete because Connor was obviously able to pass urine while he was in utero, but it was blocked enough to the point that one of the kidneys had suffered and taken most of the pressure from that blockage. So this tiny little valve, which is literally less than a millimeter, blocks up the whole system. And then it causes this prenatal picture that we can see. After babies are born, what will happen is because they're no longer in the mother's womb, they now depend on their own kidney function to filter out all the bad things in the blood. And left uncorrected, left undiagnosed, if babies go home with this condition, it wouldn't be before too long before they have severe metabolic disturbances. And historically, babies like this could crash and actually die. So because of prenatal scanning, we now are able to highlight which babies have dilation severe enough that we're suspicious that they might be a posterior urethral valve. In general, in all prenatal ultrasounds, up to 3% of moms will have a baby with some form of renal dilation. So it's really finding those babies with the severe dilation so that we can know which ones need this higher level of care. So Kira had multiple ultrasounds leading up to Connor's birth to make sure that Connor was safe. And then after delivery, after his treatment, we keep using ultrasound to ensure that his kidneys are safe. Yeah.
So I'm sure for you, pregnant, first child, it's overwhelming to hear that something isn't absolutely perfect. But then there's the flip side of it right away when you hear, not so long ago, we might not have had the prenatal screening, we might not have been able to find it and deal with it so quickly. So is it sort of, you're going through the gamut of emotions, I imagine, taking this on, but then also relief to think that there is a quick solution?
Yeah, I mean, we went for the scanning. We didn't really know we had any issues, so it was kind of neat to actually, the technologies, it's so advanced now that you can actually find issues like this. So yeah, it was surprising. I mean, we don't have that in our family. It was just
out of the blue.
Yeah, out of the blue, yeah.
And then to have the peace of mind to know that you can prepare and have a plan and know where you're going to deliver and that the team is going to rush into action and do what they can for this little guy. We are going to take more of your money now, very happily, going back to Sarah.
Well, it's always nice to get outdoors for a bike ride, but when it's for a great cause, it feels so much better. I'm joined now by Olia Kulik and Amber McCord from Sears Canada. All right, Olia, what is the Sears National Kids Cancer Ride?
It's a fantastic event where we have our riders, they actually get together in Vancouver and they ride their bikes all across the country, from West Coast all the way to the East Coast. And that whole ride, it's incredible. It lasts 17 days.
Okay. I know, Amber, you said you're shy, but you look like you're going to jump out of the frame. Come a little closer here. How much does it mean to be a part of Sears Canada and this event?
It's amazing. It's very inspirational. It's a worthwhile event and journey that they take. It's amazing.
We have presented a lot of checks here today, last night, but very few of them have been this size. Are you ready to flip and reveal just how much money Sears Canada has raised to support this year's telethon? Put your hands together, telethon volunteers. They have raised $111,020. Huge thanks. Let's head back to the phone banks.
Oh, that's great.
All right, Tim Morgan here. We're at the phone banks. The number again is 613-738-1450, and I've managed to convince Charles into saying a few words. Charles, thanks so much. Charles Mursky, thank you for being here today.
It's my pleasure.
Now, the CHEO Foundation, the CHEO Hospital, is something that you have a close relationship with already. You have how many kids?
I've got 2 kids, 10 and 5. Keep us very busy. And we've actually had the occasion to use CHEO once with my son. They were amazing for us. So
it almost seems like there's it's like almost like insurance. Good to know that they're here when you need the people at CHEO.
It's unbelievably comforting knowing that the doctors that are there are the best, and the care that you're going to receive comes from such a great place, and I can't be more thankful to have them around for sure.
Okay, the phone lines are quiet. Thank you very much, Charles. So please, let's get these numbers rolling. 613-738-1450. Jesse, over to you.
Hey, Jesse Reynolds here from Jump 1069, and I'm talking to Dave from the Shriners National Hospital. Dave, you guys just built a massive new children's hospital in Montreal, is that right?
We did. Just opened it last year, about $150 million.
That is incredible. Now, you're probably wondering what these fabulous hats are. By the way, I asked him if I could try one on. He said no. But he's with the Tunis organization. Tell us a bit about what those are.
Shriners are, it's a fraternity that's part of the Freemasons, but we're more of the fun side of Masonry. And just over 100 years ago, we decided that we needed to have something that we worked towards, and we started working with crippled children in the early 20s. And from there, it's gone into orthopedics, burn, an extensive research program, and in fact, CHEO, depending on what some of their patients' requirements are, will send them on to one of ours, either in Montreal, and we have a patient right now in our Philadelphia hospital from CHEO.
That's fantastic. Fantastic work, too. And I love that he said the fun side of Freemasonry. You know, not like that scary episode of The Simpsons we've all seen. Terrifying, right?
From that.
You've got the doll? Well, great job. Thank you very much, guys. Back to the phones.
Let's go.
All right, I heard back to the phones. I wasn't paying attention. All right, so we are back talking about the procedure that Connor had at 3 days. And he was stayed in hospital, had that procedure at 3 days, and then the recovery after was pretty quick. He wasn't in hospital very long in total, right, Kira?
No, he was able to have a non-invasive surgery, which was great. So he was in a total of 7 days by the time we were discharged. Yeah.
Okay, pretty incredible. And the reason is because this is a much simpler procedure than what he would have had later if you weren't able to do this in that very early stage.
Yeah, so historically, the way posterior urethral valves were treated were that we would actually open up the bladder to the abdominal wall to allow the bladder to drain safely. But with the advent of very small instruments, so it's called a cystoscope, small enough to go in a newborn's urethra, we're able to go in the urethra and with a very small knife incise the valve. We leave a tiny tube in for several days, remove it, and then in Connor's case, he has never needed another surgery after that single intervention. And luckily, I believe that the majority of the equipment in the OR, including instruments like our cystoscope, are funded through donations that are raised through this foundation.
And that is evolving technology. They are making changes and upgrades to the equipment that you use all the time, which means those dollars have to keep coming in, right? Because there's new equipment you can buy.
Yeah, so it's even in Connor's case, so when Connor was 6 months old, he suddenly had blood in his urine and he was seeming a little fussy. So his parents brought him into the ER thinking it was maybe a urinary tract infection, but he was actually passing a small kidney stone. So with new technology, there's actually new ureteroscopes, which are small instruments that could treat very small children. So even though we purchased a ureteroscope a couple years ago, already they have some that are almost half as small. So with these changing, evolving technologies, it allows us to provide a better, more advanced care to small kids.
Because that's one of the things we've talked about, how expensive it is to treat patients of different ages and different sizes. That tool that you have right now can't be used in children under 7, right?
No, it all depends on sizes, but literally if you think of a newborn and a 17-and-a-half-year-old football player, we deal with a huge range of sizes, and it does require a lot of capital equipment to be able to provide care to all of those people.
Okay, we're going to talk about that kidney stone situation in a minute, because that's something I didn't know that young kids ever dealt with kidney stones. Think of it as being something that older people have to deal with, but we are learning here today, and there is some fascinating research underway at the CHEO Research Institute looking at kids' concussions and activity. We're going to go to Michael O'Byrne now to the Healthy Living and Obesity Lab. Michael.
It's an astounding number. 3 children a day are treated in the CHEO emergency department for concussion. That's 1,000 children a year. There used to be a time where they were told to, stay in a dark place, no activity. Well, all that has changed because of research here at CHEO. That research is led by Dr. Roger Zemek. Doctor, it turns out that activity might be a good thing for kids with a concussion.
Exactly. We know in other disease processes like stroke, when patients have an injury to their brain that's even more severe than concussion, those patients are told to get out of bed and start moving. And we thought we need to question this. Why is it okay for stroke patients to start physical activity, yet concussion patients have to be stuck in a room? So in a study of over 3,000 kids across Canada, in which CHEO was the lead, we found that kids who did early physical activity actually recovered faster than the kids who rested longer.
Now, part of your research here is a collaboration with the Healthy Active Living and Obesity Research Group. Let's bring in Kevin Belanger. Kevin, exactly what's your role in this, and what's this device?
This device is called an Actical accelerometer, and the easiest way to think of it is it's a fancy pedometer. So the children will be wearing this for 2 weeks, and after it we get a variety of measurements. And basically, these measurements give us how long they wore the device, how many steps they took in a day, the intensity of their physical activity, and how long they were spent doing resting activities like sitting. And these measurements can inform Dr. Zemek's group and the research team leading the study about how to better manage pediatric concussions.
So, Doctor, what do numbers like this mean when you look at them?
So what this will allow us to do is we will be having kids who, when they arrive to the emergency group, some kids will be randomized to the accelerated physical activity, and some kids will be randomized to another trial arm where they're going to be doing a more recommended old protocol. And this way we can understand which of the 2 protocols are better, and it allows us to look at this data and say what is the ideal type, intensity, and duration of how to best reintroduce physical activity post-concussion so kids can recover the most quickly but in the most safe manner as well. I want to emphasize, even though activity is good, we don't want kids going back to that hockey game the very next day. It's a safe return to activity, but also that getting that balance of getting the blood flowing and allowing the brain to start healing itself.
Fascinating, fascinating research. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Mike.
We'll be back at the Children's Hospital of Eastern Ontario.
We're so excited to have Nora Graham and Colin Robillard here, grandson. And the Civitan Club is an international organization of volunteer service clubs. And you are from which club, Nora?
I'm from the Aylmer Civitan Club.
And all the clubs got together and did things throughout the year. The car show was the big thing.
Yes, we put the car show on at the Rito Carlton, and this is our 3rd year coming up.
It's amazing what you guys do. I love volunteerism. I think it's an amazing thing. We're going to flip this check over and see what our miracle match is going to be. That means up to $7,500 as we get this miracle match started. Thank you, Civitan International, and thank you guys very much for being here with us. Let's get over to Tim. We're going to start this thing right now.
Let's do this. And, I think this is such a wonderful opportunity to raise some money and get your donations to a wonderful place where it's like a donation that can be worked with you and for the telethon as well. So 613-738-1450, 613-738-1450. Jesse, what have you got happening over there?
excited people. The phones are ringing off the hook. The only thing I'm missing, though, is one of these purple capes. I wore a purple shirt. It would match perfectly, don't you think? Someone bring me a purple cape. And call while you're at it, because we're raising a ton of money for CHEO. It's so important. The number to call, 613-738-1450. Got all these volunteers here ready to answer the phone. We're helping kids one at a time. There's so much money needed and so much help to be given. Call us now. Jeff, back to you.
We're doubling your money. That's what we're doing, right? So you give $100, it becomes $2. If you give $20, it's $40. That's how it works, and we want this to happen. Let's Oprah this thing. You get a call. You get a call. You get a call. That's what we need to happen, and you can do it easily by dialing 613-738-1450. If you're not in the 613-1888-738-1450. These volunteers, they're like, we're not answering the phones right now. Well, help them out. Dial the phone and double your money. You can feel twice as good about it. I don't know what you do in the background on television. I'm not sure what the answer to that is. But answering the phone will be a whole lot easier. 738-1450. Give us a hand with this great miracle match from the Civitan Club. Tim, rocking and rolling on the phones.
Okay, so here's the thing that I think is important to know is it's blisteringly hot outside today. And if there was ever a time to be coming inside, picking up your phone, getting out your credit card, and just making the number, this can all be looked after in almost no time at all. And we would love it if you could phone right now, not to mention the fact that your money is double. So we are hearing a few people call. Call now, 613-738-1450. See, this is almost like a, this over here, it's not full arms crossed, but it's like partial arms crossed, and they need to be busy. Call right now, 1-888-738-1450. Jesse, over to you.
Civitan has donated $7,500. That's nothing. We can double it. We can triple it. People are answering the phones now. And a lot of people wonder, what does all this money go for or go towards? Researchers last year at CHEO used over 41,000 test tubes just researching new cures and new treatments. That's a lot of money for test tubes. So every cent helps, every dollar helps. Give us a call now. The number again, 613-738-1450. Jeff, back to you.
Yeah, we've got about 17 seconds left on this. If you get it in there, 738-1450, as we mentioned. Catherine's ready, right? You want to answer that phone?
Yes, I want to answer phones. Can you please call? Children need this.
That's right. Children need you. 613-738-1450. 3, 2, 1. That's it for the Miracle Match. We will have another one coming up. But thank you to the Civitan International Club.
Monthly giving is one of the easiest ways to be a hero for CHEO. Become a new monthly donor during this year's telethon, and Canadian Pacific will match your donations for the rest of the year. Your monthly donation will support CHEO's improved catheterization lab and interventional suite. Payment is possible by credit card or direct debit from your bank account. Every dollar you give will be doubled by CP. Call now and be a hero for CHEO all year long. Thank you to the following for making this telethon possible.
Well, we've all heard of the Hike for CHEO, but time now to introduce you to the crew that's behind it all. We've got Richard, Tassie, Olga, Bessie, and Penny. And joining us, he's actually a CHEO pediatric neurosurgeon, is Dr. Michael Vasilyati. Thank you all so much for joining us here today. Now, Penny, what exactly is the Hike for CHEO?
Well, the Hike for CHEO is a family walkathon, and we've been holding it for many years. You'll find out more in a second. It's a family walkathon hosted by the Hellenic community of Ottawa. So all of the friends and neighbors of the Greek community get together to raise funds for CHEO.
And now, why, Richard, was last year such a milestone for the hike?
Well, it was great because we just celebrated 25 years of doing the Hike for CHEO, which is a great event, and the HCO is always well behind it.
And before we go, Olga has a special message for the Greek community. Olga?
Θα ήθελα να ευχαριστήσω όλους τους ομογενείς, όλα τα μέλη της κοινότητας για τη συμπαράσταση, τη συμμετοχή σας και την ενθάρρυνση που μας δίνετε πάντα στην προσπάθειά μας για το παιδικό νοσοκομείο.
And for those that are a little rusty when it comes to speaking Greek, that was a gigantic thank you to the Greek community. So let's go ahead and flip that check and see just how much the Hike for CHEO raised. $31,622. Thank you for your ongoing support. Patricia, back to you.
All right. It's all Greek to me some days, Sarah. Thank you so much. Connor doing so well. Our almost 2-year-old, Connor turns 2 in July, sitting very well for us this hour. He loves the grapes.
He does.
Healthy, happy child, very busy. Yeah. And after he had that initial procedure at 3 days old, then when he was about 6 months old, you became concerned again because what?
We found that he was having blood in his urine, in his diapers. So we initially thought it was a urinary tract infection, which is what we were told to look out for. So we brought him into emergency, and they did an ultrasound. They noticed he had a kidney stone, which surprised us. We didn't expect that at all at 6 months of age.
Right, because kidney stone's not something you usually associate with babies, and yet you do see that, and you are doing research into why that is and how you can treat those, right?
That's right. So there's a lot of anecdotal evidence that babies would pass stones easily, and we said, well, we want to have more information to be able to tell parents and families, if their baby develops a stone, will they need surgery or when will they pass it? So we did a review of this, and we were able to find that information out. So we have almost 100 babies under a year in a short time at CHEO that have had kidney stones, and we're studying that behavior to see what we can learn about those kids. The other types of research we're doing on kidney stones are actually looking to see if we can use information that's easily available in the electronic medical record. So courtesy of the foundation, the Research Institute, we've been awarded some funds to look at ways to find out which kids are developing kidney stones. So using things like natural language processing, which is a really innovative way of analyzing electronic health record information. So lots of cutting edge research, and if it weren't for the foundation, we wouldn't be, I'm sorry, I keep saying that, the Research Institute in the foundation, that we're able to do this type of research.
Do you love the research part of it?
I think there's only about 35 pediatric urologists in Canada, and it's such a small specialty. So by virtue of being the only ones doing this work, if we're not doing the research, we're not going to move the field forward. And the way urinary tract disease presents in Canada can actually be different than other areas in the world. So I really feel that it's really important for my patients, and I also find it really interesting.
And as every parent who's ever spent time at CHEO knows, life is what happens when you're making other plans. They found out about this kidney stone right when you were about to go to Belize, and you had to cancel your trip.
We did, yeah.
But it's an easy decision, right? Your child and the health of your child, of course, is a priority. All right. And we are going to head over to the phone bank? No. Okay. So we have a piece now from CTV's Megan Shaw. The latest equipment can be life-altering for people with kidney failure, and that's why CHEO is raising money to purchase top-of-the-line hemodialysis machines. Here's Megan.
Get those bubbles.
Judging by that giggle, you wouldn't guess 2-year-old Thomas is in the middle of a life-saving treatment.
Blow on it.
One this little guy does with mom or dad for several hours, 6 days a week.
He really doesn't think that this is special. He thinks this is normal.
Thomas was born with a rare genetic disorder that causes kidney failure and kidney tumors. So they had to be removed to prevent cancer from spreading. Now this hemodialysis machine at CHEO cleans his blood.
I really don't want to think about it, but Thomas wouldn't be here. His kidneys completely shut down.
Using dialysis, many people can live full lives.
The blood goes in these tiny, tiny little straws, gets sloshed around the super clean fluid. That's how we clean out their blood.
But because most patients require treatment at least 3 times a week, Dr. Gabrielle Weiler says the current machines are wearing down.
That's a good, strong heart, little man.
CHEO is raising money to buy 5 new machines that will offer an even better level of care.
We'll be able to not only remove more toxins, get the fluid off, but also have a better idea of their fluid status and health. And the real hope is we can get them off a lot of their medications.
Each machine will cost about $50,000.
There we go, buddy.
Okay, Thomas. Dialysis nurse Tara Godfrey says they could change a young patient's life.
Typically, dialysis wipes you out. You don't go to school, you're not interested in socializing, your appetite's diminished. It's just barely getting by. So to be able to provide the treatment that's, life-sustaining, but also where they can have like some sort of normal existence outside of here is huge.
And for little Thomas, the new machines could reduce his treatment time by a full day. Extra time to play outside the hospital as he waits for his upcoming transplant.
Chances are he's probably going to miss all of this, but because that's all he knows. But we're really excited.
Well, Hockey for Little Hearts has been supporting the CHEO Telethon for the last 8 years. But what we are about to show you is that they have, in fact, quadrupled their donation from last year. We'll get that to in a second. But first, we've got Ryan Roy, Cassandra Greer, and Derek Bowker, all from Hockey for Little Hearts. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, our tournament's really grown over the last couple of years, and we had great donators this year with the Graham Automotive Foundation, the family foundation there, and then along with CP Has Heart matching our donations this year, we had a banner year for the tournament.
Okay, and in fact, this is one of the largest tournaments that involve firefighters, right?
Yeah, for hockey charity, there's no other tournament in North America that donates more money per year than our tournament does, and we're pretty proud of having that title.
Okay, so who did you say matched your grand total of fundraising?
The CP Has Heart program matched our donations this year, and then the Graham Family Foundation were a large donator this year, along with other companies here in Ottawa that donate to our tournament, so it's made for a large check for us.
All right, are you ready to flip this check and reveal just how much money you've raised?
Absolutely.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the donation from Hockey for Little Hearts, $60,000. Let's head back to the phone banks.
Thanks, Sarah. This is Tim Morgan. I'm from Boom FM, and I'm here with Colby at the phone banks. Colby, who are you here with today?
I'm here with Fairfield Inn and Suites by Marriott.
Now, do you have a special connection with CHEO? What has motivated you to come here today?
It's my second year doing the telethon, and I actually have a young niece just over the age of 1. She was at CHEO for a non-life-threatening issue, but that even enough motive for me just to want to give back and really support CHEO the best. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. And what's your niece's name?
Bryn.
And how is Bryn doing now?
She's healthier than ever, and she's probably at home watching on her uncle on the couch.
Okay, that's excellent. And this is the thing. You've heard it here more than once this weekend. Life happens when you start making other plans, and this is why CHEO is so important to everyone. 613-738-1450. Pick up the phone, call, and make a donation.
Oh, geez, I'm chatting with the Heart Moms. I wasn't ready. I'm sorry. I'm talking to Sandra. She's one of 5 Heart Moms here today. Say hello, Heart Moms. And Heart Moms, we all hope moms have a heart, don't we? But what is a Heart Mom, Sandra?
A heart mom has a child with a baby who has congenital heart disease or another heart condition.
Okay, and you have a personal connection to this. Tell us a bit about your story.
My daughter's name is Adeline Mahoney. She'll be 3 soon, and she's a heart baby. She has congenital heart disease.
And look at that. While we're talking to her, her phone started to ring. Actually, it was Christy's phone. But you have a picture of Adelaide?
Here's a picture of Adeline with her surgeon, Dr. Maharaj.
So important. We have so many great surgeons at CHEO, and, your money helps keep it funded. Let's go. 613-738-1450. Call now. They're ready to answer the phone. And
our priority has always been kids. It was a natural thing when we lost Adam to focus on that.
The reason I went to CHEO to volunteer was to give back. They were always there for us, and we really needed CHEO so many times.
There are many ways that you can make a difference in the lives of the children and youth at CHEO. Please contact the CHEO Foundation to find out more.
I'm Patty, and this is my husband, John. We have left a gift in will to support the children at CHEO, and hope you will do the same. Thank you.
All right, we are back here with Connor, who's doing very well lasting through the hour. And his heart mom, Kira. Connor is doing so well right now, but had a couple of complications. Had that kidney stone at 6 months, which is something that we just don't expect. We don't think is a possibility for our youngsters. So many things to worry about. But is there anything that you can do as a parent to just make sure the kidneys are in good health, the bladder is in good health, that maybe you can prevent some of those things? Is there action that you can take? And I know this is probably going to be in your answer. This is one of the big things, right?
100%. So yeah, in a very generic way, summer's here. Today is like the hottest day of the year, I think, possibly. So making sure you stay hydrated. And the one thing we see a lot more in our kidney stone clinic is these hidden salts. So kidney stones are often formed in people who may have a high dietary sodium. So just making sure if you're eating a lot of packaged food or prepared food that they're not very high in salt content. And then obviously if there are symptoms, blood in the urine, back pain, it could be something like a urinary tract infection, and occasionally especially kids with strong family history of stones. So mom has stones, dad has stones, uncles have stones, kids may have stones. And once you form a stone, people who've had them, they'll know it's not fun. But after your first stone, there's usually a high risk you'll make another one. So you got to be good at adhering to those sort of recommendations to keep up the water intake.
Yeah, my husband had one a few years ago. Not pleasant at all. We haven't had to go back, but it is pretty scary. Are kids as likely to be able to pass them, or is there more chance that they might have to have surgery if they're dealing with kidney stones?
So this is actually amazing. So in the study we did of newborns, so newborns to age 1, the size cutoff was actually the exact same as adults. So a stone bigger than 6 millimeters usually is hard for an adult to pass, so 7 millimeters or larger, and the babies could pass them as well as the adults. So those tiny little babies can pass the stone just as big as their mom or dad can. It's pretty amazing.
So what were you feeling for this little guy when you realized that he had a kidney stone? And
I was really hoping he wasn't in pain, because I know passing a stone is not the most comfortable. So they did give him some medication to help pass it a little easier, and then it just sort of went away on its own. It must have came out, or...
And then in Connor's case, it was incredibly important because he was passing a kidney stone in his stronger kidney. So in him, it was very critical that we wanted to make sure that stone passed without incident, because we wouldn't want any damage to his strong kidney, right? So, they did the right thing, and they canceled their beautiful trip to Belize to stay closer to CHEO, but I think in the end, it was the right thing to do.
That kidney that he's really relying on, and he's doing so well now. He has to go in for checkups every 6 to 12 months, but otherwise he's doing great. All right, we are going to go back to Sarah in the Czech area.
I think we've got a future broadcaster in our midst. There certainly is no shortage of cute faces here at the telethon. This is Harper Norris, and holding her is Ashley Schrader, and holding our check that we're about to flip is Rick Norris. Now, Rick, tell us who Scott Takasi is.
Well, Scott was a youth baseball player in Canada Little League. He passed away at 12 years old in 1996 of cardiac failure, and my father, along with his family, the Takasi family, started the Scott Takasi Memorial Baseball Tournament.
Where's all of the money that's raised from the tournament? Where does it go specifically at CHEO?
Every year, because of his condition, we've donated to the cardiac unit of the Children's Hospital of Eastern Ontario.
Okay. Before we flip the check, I think we're going to need a little help. Harper, Ashley, do you think you can help us flip the check and reveal just how much money we've raised? Give me a little smile. There it is. She's hiding. All right, let's flip it in 3, 2, 1. They have raised $20,000. Thank you for your ongoing support. 22 years this tournament has been around. Jeff, we'll throw things over to you.
Thank you, Sarah. And if you are sitting at home thinking, wow, $20,000 is so inspiring, you know what else is inspiring? $5, $10, $20. Make these phones ring. Jessica's been waiting. She wants you to call 613-738-1450. And Jessica, you're a teacher at what school?
I'm a teacher at St. Luke, Ottawa.
And you're leading by example today.
That I am. Yeah.
You hope. What grades do you teach?
What grades? Right now I'm teaching grade 1.
Oh, grade 1. So they're just a little too young to answer phones and take down credit card information. I get it.
Just a little bit, yeah.
It's so nice of you to be here. And Jesse's had some trouble here. Jesse is here. And Jesse, this phone hasn't rung a lot for you. For whatever reason.
No calls, yeah.
Come on. Everybody else has had calls, but Jessie is feeling a little hurt. 613-738-1450. Help her out. Or 1-888-738-1450. Too funny. Good stuff. All right, let's get over to Tim. Tim. Thank you, Jeff. Yes, that's right. We're up here with these wonderful people up here that are answering your phone calls, and I'm here with Lisa McLeod. What brings you here today, Lisa?
Well, as a local MPP, I've often been working with CHEO. Obviously, as a mother, I've been there a few times myself, but this year is special. I've been working with the family of Rowan Stringer, and this year, as you know, Rowan passed away 4 years ago from a concussion, went to CHEO, but this year, just a few days ago, announced with CHEO Dr. Christian Goulet that we'll be doing a Rowan's Legacy project to bring more concussion awareness here to the City of Ottawa with the University of Ottawa and as well as CHEO. So it's really important this year to be here to talk about the effects of concussion, and I'm here today for her.
Now, why do you think it's so important as a mother? I mean, you know, when I'm a father myself of 2 young girls, it's so important for moments like this to get people to pick up the phone so we can all collectively raise so much money.
Yeah, it's really important, and I'll give you one example. During my second election campaign, my daughter was not very well. We were taking her to the Queens by Carleton Hospital, which we support as our local hospital, but they couldn't figure out exactly what was wrong with her, so we had to go to CHEO, and CHEO was able to rehydrate our daughter after she had been so sick, because the dosages of the medication and the ability to help such a small child was something that they're experts in. So, I mean, it doesn't matter what you're dealing with, whether it's childhood cancer, whether you've got issues with Crohn's and colitis or a simple illness that can be fixed, CHEO is the gem of this province when it comes to children's health care, and that's why it's important for people to pick up the phone, make a call, make sure that we're busy today.
All right, thanks, Lisa. Jesse, let's pass things over to you.
Hey, I was ready that time, see? I'm chatting with Denise here. Now, Denise, you're volunteering. You've got a very personal connection to CHEO, is that right?
Yes, my daughter is a CHEO patient and also went to OCTC preschool, OCTC school. She's had surgeries. She's recently completed a hospital stay. So we know that place quite well.
And whose idea was it for her hair color? Because look at this pink. I think I'm rocking that for the summer. How about you?
Well, it's pink or purple during the summer, but in the winter it's red for the Sens.
Very good. We support our Sens. And you recently stayed with her for an extended stay at CHEO, right?
Yeah, I slept with her when she was there for 7 days, stayed in the room. We received excellent treatment while we were there. The nurses, the doctors, it seemed like there was 1 million of them at any given time. Some specialty teams came in as well, but it was quite an experience for us.
Fantastic. So your donation, maybe we can get some better cots in those rooms too, huh? 613-738-1450.
We want to see that pink hair on the telethon next year. You can rock that for sure. Just a moment ago, Jeff Hopper walked over from the phone banks and whispered in Dr. Keys' ear that there was a donation made from your family to the phones. Who was that was calling in to make the donation?
So Gabrielle and Cleo have saved up some money from birthday gifts and from some chores, and they decided they wanted to donate to the telethon, so they're there with Grandpa, and Grandpa called in on their behalf. But thanks, Gabrielle and Cleo. And thank you to all the kids from all the schools who did all those fundraisers with the school to raise money for CHEO. I think it's so amazing that, and we see this a lot in our clinic, that friends of kids who come to CHEO know that they're missing school and know that they're, you know, the neighbor in class is missing because they have to get some tests done or they have to go see Dr. Keys on a Tuesday, you know, on the fun day at the school. So, you know, the kids that take the time to raise money for their friends, I think that's a huge, amazing effort.
And
so
support
thank you.
their friends. And of course, these are your daughters that you're talking about that
Yes.
called in, and they hear about what a wonderful place CHEO is all the time. They think maybe they might want to work there one day.
So they've told me that when they're older, as long as they're allowed to share an office with me, that they will consider working at CHEO. But I told them they can do whatever they want, but I also told them that I think that their mom has maybe the best job in the world. So we'll see what they
mother
decide.
of 2 as a doctor sounds busy enough. You're actually a mother of 3. You have
3,
a little
yes.
one as well.
He's too little to know what he wants to do or donate, but yeah,
Soon.
we have a little one. He's a little boy, so he's got 2 big sisters to deal with.
And Carrie, you were actually saying that one of the last times you went in to see Dr. Keys in the office was just a few days before she was expecting her last
Yeah,
one.
I keep bumping into her. So yeah, we probably saw her a couple days before you delivered. And yeah.
And just sort of, we know how busy doctors are, but a young mom of 3 and doing everything she can to help you, you sort of appreciate what she's able to do for you.
Yeah,
And
she's amazing. And all the nurses and the doctors in both urology and nephrology are great. So yeah, we see them every 6 to 12 months, and it's always good when we go in.
Yeah, because none of us want to have to be there and have to be relying on those services, but it's so amazing to know just how great that team is when you do have to be in that position. And great doctor, obviously, but no one quite understands your concerns and your worries like maybe another mom does.
That and our nurses are on the phone calling moms all the time, and we couldn't do what we do without them. We appreciate their work so much and the whole team. So thank you, Julie, Claude, Lena, and Sasha. Thank you so much for everything you do.
Awesome. If you have a good nurse in your life, maybe that's a reason to pick up the phone and donate today. A lot of people are doing that, and they're bringing in the checks as well as we go back to Sarah.
Well, it's a family affair at Gabriel Pizza. I'm joined now by Andre, Michael, and George. And of course, Chef Gabe in the background. Listen, before we flip the check and talk about how Gabriel's raised this money, George, what was your son's, Michael's, experience with CHEO 10 years ago?
Well, when he was born, he had a meconium plug, and he had to spend almost 6 weeks at CHEO in the neonatal unit, and it was incredible. Like I was just talking earlier, you don't really know this unit until you actually visit it. It's almost like a hidden gem. And then when you're in there, you meet great people, great family, great doctors. It was incredible. So.
Well, and since then, we've had continued support from Gabriel Pizza for the Children's Hospital of Eastern Ontario. What happens the first Tuesday of every month at Gabe's Pizza?
The first Tuesday of every month, we give $2 from every large sold. It goes back to CHEO throughout all of our stores across Ottawa and Gatineau. And it's been, this is our second year doing it.
Okay.
And it's been incredible.
So we should remind people, if you get a craving for a pizza, make sure it's on the first Tuesday of every month and get yourself a large, so then you know you're supporting the CHEO Hospital. Are you ready, Michael? You gonna help us flip the check? All right, let's make it happen in 3, 2, 1. This year's donation from Gabriel Pizza to the CHEO Telethon. It's $10,000, everybody. Let's throw things back to Patricia.
And we are just about to wrap up our hour here. Connor's lasting the whole hour. We're very impressed. Just before we go, very quickly, we want to talk about something called patient engagement research. What does that mean?
So it's a big field, but in a brief second, any kind of research where you're actually partnering with patients or families to conduct the research. So there are many people doing this at CHEO, and I've started to do some of this in developing a patient-reported outcome measure for a very common birth defect in boys. So what we're doing is partnering with parents and families and interviewing them. And then the idea is that we'll get this, at the end, a nice quality of life instrument that isn't something that a bunch of researchers and doctors came up with, but it's actually quotes from the parents' mouths. So something that they've experienced and they've lived. And we're going to make it so that it's something that they would actually care to fill out. So if you sit down in a chair and you look at something that's got 100 questions on it, you're going to say, please leave me alone.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's, how did you know I was thinking that? How did you know to ask that? And this is actually going to help me decide whether or not I should have a surgery. That's something that's very valuable to patients and families. So we've had great interest from the community, lots of participation. And again, some of this work is supported by the Research Institute.
I love that. And another way for families to kind of spearhead their own care and help you to help their children. He almost made it. Connor's making an early exit. I know this was tough for you to come on with a toddler and talk about something that's, it's a personal, intimate situation, but what are your final thoughts about, maybe he hasn't left you.
No, he hasn't.
What are your final thoughts about CHEO and the care you had there and getting you through this first tough year with him?
We had amazing care from CHEO, and of course his condition's going to be an ongoing thing for the rest of his life. He'll have to see urology, so we're very thankful that we have a children's hospital very close to us, so he can get the care he needs.
Peace of mind, if you do have to go in, it's not far away, and it's some of the best care anywhere in this country, right? Yeah. Okay, we do have a new total that we're going to share with you. These last few hours have gone by very quickly. The phones have been ringing, the donations have been coming in. We're going to do our little drum roll and give you the new numbers here. $3,319,835. Thank you so much to everyone who donated, and we're going to be moving it along and passing things along to Graham Richardson in just a moment. Thank you so much to both of you for being here, all three of you for being here, woo, and sharing your story today. Awesome job. Well, when Leah Stanger was born, almost everyone in the room knew there was something unique about her, but nobody was quite sure what it was. Only 1 in 40,000 babies has something like Leah's condition. Here is Kimothy Walker to tell you Leah's story.
Leah Stanger was expected to be a healthy baby, but something seemed unusual when she was born.
They placed her on me, and as soon as I saw her precious little face, I knew that there might be something. There was just like a mummy's intuition that there might just be something a little special about her.
We received a phone call from Dr. Diamond, who relayed the information that she had tested positive for missing part of her 18th chromosome.
That happened in the early stages of conception, a complete fluke that happens at a cellular level.
The chromosomes are essentially the structures that hold our DNA. And the DNA comprises our genes, and we have about 22,000 genes. And Leah's missing about 100 of those genes on one of the chromosomes.
She has what's called global delay. That can show itself in anything from a smaller than average head, smaller ear canals, which is why she wears a hearing device, and weak muscle control. Leah also has learning difficulties.
Good morning to you.
Leah is enrolled in the Ottawa Children's Treatment Centre, which recently amalgamated with CHEO.
Who else starts with L? Leah. Leah, you start with L. Good.
Since coming to school, she has progressed rapidly.
Can I hear your voice? Can you say 4? Good girl.
The team really is wrapping around mom and dad and Leah and really following their lead as to what is important for the next step. And certainly incorporating all of her therapies into her school day is what makes this school unique.
How many?
So Leah does many things, including physiotherapy,
Girl, that's my speedster. Monkeys are
speech-language pathology,
4.
where on this day they talk about emotions and how to express them.
As quiet as can be.
And occupational therapy, where now they are focusing on buttons and zippers.
She certainly knows where she belongs. She knows where her desk is. She knows the routine to go and get her lunch. She knows where her coat is to put on her coat at the end of the day.
All of this was difficult for the first-time parents to absorb.
On one hand, you know what's going on, you understand and you think you're accepting it, but you find yourself in a constant state of denial.
They have accepted that their dreams for Leah need to be realistic. For a CHEO employee, that's a reality every day. That's right, Nicole works at CHEO in genetics.
I have always said there's a reason I work here, and it was to prepare myself for the experience we were going to have. It is such a wonderful place that you can't help but have confidence in the team. Everyone is so knowledgeable and helpful.
Nicole's proximity to Leah's special classroom means she can visit at lunch.
Are you having your lunch? Within a month of being in the preschool program, she was walking independently. And so for us, that was a huge leap.
Sometimes those little things that you may not necessarily think of can be fairly significant to try to accomplish.
And Leah has accomplished so much.
Can I see your ears, sweet pea? Whenever you're faced with challenges in learning and communicating and developmental challenges, the importance of hearing is even higher.
Going forward, there is only one person who can control where she's going. That's Leah.
When you first came and we first started to see her, how well she's doing?
Yeah, wonderful progress.
I think Nicole and her husband were very worried that, is she ever going to walk independently? And so now you see that she's made tremendous strides, and a delight to see and look after because she's so friendly and outgoing.
Nicole told us the poem Welcome to Holland helped her, as having a special needs child is not the end of your world. The poem illustrates the story of a tourist keen on going to Italy, but has their plane diverted. It's not Italy, it's Holland. It's not where a traveler expected to be, but it's still lovely and a whole different trip. And that's how the Stangers approach life with Leah. Different adventures and unique challenges. It's not Italy, but Holland is a beautiful place to be. The Stangers have landed in Holland. We have a young lady on the move. There you are. She is doing so well. I mean, she's been, all over this set, and she wants to explore. I'm sure the cameraman can follow her, but she is so rock solid on her feet now, and she's doing really well. Tell us what's happened since we last saw you.
Since we last saw you, she's just really blossomed even more. She is much more stable on her feet. She's more social. She's just really thriving.
And she has words now, right?
She has a few words,
yeah.
But that is an area where she probably struggles the most.
Yeah. And the curiosity, right? And we were talking about this, is that she's so good with the tactile. Like, those are all of the things that she's really excelled. There she is. Oh, she's going to show off for us on the, there we go. So what about next steps? Like, what are we kind of focusing on now?
Well, she's just finishing her junior kindergarten year at OCTC. She'll have the summer off, and then again in the fall she'll start her senior kindergarten year, and she'll go back to school, and she loves the OCTC school as well as we do as well. She's really come a long way since having joined that school program.
And you work at CHEO, and this is the first time you've seen behind the scenes of the CHEO Telethon and the hundreds of volunteers here that make it happen. For your hearts, what are you feeling?
It really warms my heart. There are so many wonderful people back here who have been working on this months on end to make this day really special, and we really appreciate, especially working at the hospital, really appreciate the volunteers and the staff that really pull it together and make it happen.
Aaron, you didn't work there,
No.
and before Leah was born, you weren't exposed to a lot of this. You told your story because it was important to you that people understand about the hospital. Tell us what has impressed you the most.
Probably Leah's personality. She is such a pleasure to be around, always making people smile, wants to be the little comedian. It's probably the thing that I would find the most surprising.
Well, she makes all the staff smile, though. I mean, I've seen it firsthand.
Yeah.
I think she's gone off with grandma, so she won't be here for the finale. But we're so happy that you agreed to share your story, and we really appreciate it. And I'm glad that you can go back to work knowing how this community stands behind you and how research dollars will help kids like Leah. And nope, she's not coming back. Thank you very much to both of you. Bye, Leah. Here she comes, running into frame. There she is. Running.
I love it. That is so cute. Very, very cool. All right, it's time. It's time to double your money again. And Giant Tiger, all Canadian family discount store for fun, smart savings. Community involvement is big on their agenda. And guess what? It's a $5,000 miracle match. Every dollar you give is doubled up to $5,000. So if it's $100, it's $2, and we want that to happen. Tim, let's get it started. This miracle match is on.
Okay, let's do this, everybody. Now's the time to phone 613-738-1450 or 1-888-738-1450, 1450. You can also send a text into CHEO at 45678. As a lot of people know and are very proud to say this, that CHEO is a leading pediatric care facility in Ontario, and a lot of people say it's one of the best in the country. So it requires a lot of money to keep it at the very top of all these best of lists. So now's the time to make that donation. As we all know, government money will only go so far. Jesse, over to you.
Well, you know what? I just got some great news. Mona, who's behind me here, just got a call from a little girl named Hannah. And Hannah just donated all of the money that she raised this weekend from her lemonade stand. How cool is that? The camera's not on me, but that's okay. The phones are ringing. That's what's important. So, Jeff, what's going on with you?
What's going on is we do need these phones to ring. You're right about that. Just taking a look at this front row who is all set. In fact, they're filling out the things they can fill out ahead of time before the phones ring, just to be they're anticipating big things. 613-738-1450, 1-888 738-1450. We need these phones to ring, folks. I know it's a nice day. I know you want to be out there and enjoying it, but I just need you to dial that phone and get in here and get some money raised. All the reasons you've heard today, all of those stories, it all comes together, and we need you to dial the phone. It doesn't have to be a lot. It can be $10. It can be $20. It can be whatever you want, but it gets doubled right now for a minute and 20 seconds, Tim. We're doubling this miracle match.
Okay, 613-738-1450, 613-738-1450. There's more and more phones ringing right now, but we need them all to be ringing. We don't want to see anybody twiddling their pens. We don't want any of that. We need people to be answering the phone call and taking down your numbers. Jesse, what have you got to say?
Such an important part of recovery, food as medicine, and at CHEO, they design food plans specific to kids' requirements, and they even serve pancakes in the shape of smiley faces. I want a smiley face pancake. So we can have all the pancakes we want with your donation, 613-738-1450. Call now, we need these phones ringing. Jeff, over to you.
All right, you're right about that. And they are ringing. The front row is now active. And in fact, these guys here, I said we're filling things out ahead of time. Boom, just like that. We're filling these out. You're actually, there goes that phone. All right, I like this. You guys are actually donating yourselves, right? That's what these guys were doing right before they answered the phone because they want to get in on the miracle match.
Yeah, that's exactly what they were doing. Yeah.
Very smart way to do it. When the folks at the phones are donating themselves, come on, we can do better than that. We can dial that number, 613-738-1450. As we wrap up this miracle match, you have just 5 seconds left to get in on this, and we want you to do so. Thank you so much, Giant Tiger, for giving that $5,000 miracle match. I want to say thank you to Jesse Reynolds, Tim Morgan, both for joining us here today. Jesse, was a lot of fun.
Oh, it was a lot of fun. I can't get over that Hannah who donated her lemonade stand money. How awesome is that?
I know. When you hear those stories, Tim, and this is your first CHEO Telethon, you must be so inspired.
It's an honor and a privilege, and it makes you realize just what a special pediatric care facility the CHEO is.
Indeed.
Well said.
I'm out of here. You guys are out of here. Thanks again for helping out.
Thank you.
We'll see you again next year as we get things thrown over to the desk.
This portion of the CHEO Telethon is brought to you in part by the Ottawa Citizen. Monthly giving is one of the easiest ways to be a hero for CHEO. Become a new monthly donor during this year's telethon, and Canadian Pacific will match your donations for the rest of the year. Your monthly donation will support CHEO's improved catheterization lab and interventional suite. Payment is possible by credit card or direct debit from your bank account. Every dollar you give will be doubled by CP. Call now and be a hero for CHEO all year long.
Well, when you walk through the doors here at the EY Center to make your way into the telethon, the very first thing you see is a whole lot of punching bags. And I think the question everybody's been asking is, what's going on here? Chris Weisbach is the owner of Phoenix Boxing and the man behind Punching with Purpose. What's the whole idea, Chris?
Well, the whole idea is our boxers are throwing 2,000 punches an hour, so it's like a punching marathon to raise money for CHEO. So our boxers, we have 65 boxers that are doing it, and each one of them aiming to throw 2,000 punches and try to generate money and raise money, donations for CHEO.
What fundraising goal have you set for you and your team?
We've set it to hit $25,000 for the 5th year in a row. Right now we're about $14,000.
Okay, what can people at home do to help you reach your goal?
They could go to phoenixboxing.ca and find the Punching with Purpose section and find the Donate Now click and go ahead and donate. There's a link right to the CHEO website for Punching with Purpose and donate and help us out.
Okay, well, thanks for your ongoing support. And I don't know if this helps, but there we go. Back to the desk. It has been an absolute thrill to be with you once again this year.
Fantastic. That is Sarah Freemark. I'm Graham Richardson, back for the next 4 hours, the final 4 hours, wrapping up this fantastic weekend for CHEO. I'm joined today by Lisa O'Kane. She's a child life specialist at the ER at CHEO. Welcome.
Thank you.
And Darcy McRae, 15-year-old. Welcome to the CHEO Telethon, Darcy.
Thanks.
Thanks
Graham.
for being here. Now, your story is you have something called, is it Blount disease?
Well, I have Blount's disease, which is my legs bow, but I also have a brain tumor.
You have a brain tumor. It presented itself, you were 8 years old. Tell us about what was going on.
So I was 8 years old, and I had been vomiting and had very bad headaches for quite some time.
Just not feeling well.
Yeah, and we went to some like a pediatrician and stuff, and a lot of it was like, oh, it's chalked up to the flu and stuff.
Sure.
And then one night we went to our eye doctor, and the eye doctor looked in the back of my eyes at my optic nerve, and she said, go to CHEO right away, and here I was 8 years old thinking, oh no, I need glasses.
Right.
And then 2 days later, I'm at CHEO having surgery.
Wow. And how many surgeries have you had so far?
Well, I've had 8 brain surgeries and 2 surgeries on my legs.
Wow. 8 brain surgeries.
Or no, not 8, sorry. 6.
6 brain surgeries,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, 6
And then
brain
2 on
surgeries.
your legs, you told me.
Yes. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Don't be sorry. That's fine. It's hard. You kind of lose track
You
with
do.
that many. And we're going to be talking about your case this hour. And Lisa is not necessarily directly with Darcy's case, but with the ER. And so many people relate to CHEO based on the ER because, we've all been there as parents. Most of us have been there as parents. Tell us a bit about a child life specialist. What is your role there?
So my job as a child life specialist, I don't treat the child medically, but I'm kind of looking at the whole child, so psychosocially. So how can I make the hospital experience positive for the child and the family? So a lot of that is done through play, and because that's what kids do best. Often I do a lot of teaching and explanation in the emergency department because there's a lot of unknowns.
Yeah.
When a family comes in, there's a lot of fears and anxieties. So my job is just to take a little bit of time